Hello everyone, I'm Lidia Canovas, General Manager of Regulatory Affairs here at Asphalion, and we welcome you to a new edition of Asphalion RegTalks. We are going to talk today about regulatory information management systems. As you know, in the pharmaceutical industry, these systems are key to have our data sorted in a good shape and allow the operation and maintenance of medicinal products. In addition, we will face very soon an important transition from the current XAV MPD transmission of data in place since 2012 to the new ISO ADMP standards. This is going to add complexity, increasing the amount of data to be transmitted, and we will have an important impact in also in internal procedures. In this scenario, the regulatory information management systems will be even more important. That's why we have created this series of RegTalks to give you information and support on this topic and support you during this topic. Today we have with us Mr. Udo Griem. Udo is head of eBusiness Solution Department at Körber Pharma Software. Welcome, Udo.
Lydia, thanks for having me.
A pleasure.
So that you understand my view on RIMS systems, I would really like to introduce myself shortly. My name, as you said, is Udo Griem. I'm the head of the eBusiness Solutions Department at Körber Pharma Software in Lüneburg. Lüneburg is in northern Germany, not far from Hamburg. Our company, Körber Pharma Software, is a worldwide operating software developer and system provider for the pharmaceutical and biotech industry. Our probably best known and most important product is our world-leading PASX MES system, the manufacturing execution system. But we develop and deliver various other software solutions to support our customers in the whole pharmaceutical and biotech value chain. In my department, we are responsible for various of these software products and also for different projects. Just to outline the range, we developed different software solutions to optimize the pharmaceutical manufacturing processes. We have a system for the quality management that includes different modules to handle deviations, complaints, laboratory investigations, CAPAs, and so on. The core of this system is a workflow engine with various workflows implemented. Another example for system for our range is a system for stock keeping of pharmaceutical warehouses. We have developed B2B portals, and of course, on the very end of the supply chain, we have implemented B2C websites for customers. We will add a system for the regulatory quality reporting next year. It's to automate the annual PQR, the product quality review. And last but not least, and that's why I'm here today, we develop a RIMS system, a regulatory information management system called RI Manager. Finally, a few words about myself. I've worked for Körber Pharma Software for about 30 years. In all this time, I've been very closely linked to the software development. I started at Körber as a software developer. Later, I was responsible for various projects as a project manager, and I'm still responsible for the software development in my current position as head of department. That means in this current reg talk about RIMS systems, I don't look from a marketing perspective to the issue, but from the perspective of the software engineering. It's a slightly different view, and I hope it's of interest for you, and furthermore important also for our audience out there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Udo. So my first question, what would you define as a RIM system, and what would you consider as the basic capabilities of a RIMS?
To answer your question, let's take the aforementioned software engineering perspective, where everything starts with a user-centered design of a system. It's all about the user. From this point, we came to two questions. The first, what are the responsibilities and what are the tasks of the users? And how does everyday work look like? We have to start think from the customer's point of view. And the following second question is, what can be done better? How can a system support this work? What do the user really need in their everyday's work? And it's independent if you have a website or a regulatory information management system. And looking at the regulatory department, from my view, this leads us directly to the main requirement of a RIM, and the answer is as easy as it is difficult to achieve. The RIM system must provide a solid database with all information that is necessary for the management and submission of pharmaceuticals. We need information of all existing products, the ingredients, the active substances, the manufacturers, the laboratory results, the batch records, maybe the status of the submissions in the different countries, the package sizes, labeling information, all these information that's necessary for the RI departments that must be in a RIM system. The focus must lay on the quality of the data. Regulatory affairs manager overall need the confidence that the data they use is correct. We call this data quality confidence. The RI managers need to be sure that the data they are looking is valid and consistent. That's exactly the reason why we have chosen a data-oriented approach for our RIM system right from the start of the development. Where other RIM systems that on the market rely more on document-driven approaches, we think that a consistent data-oriented design with a well-organized database and an appropriate data structure is best to achieve today's and even future requirements of RIM systems. On such a basis, it's very easy to implement functionality, even more functions. It may sound a little bit stupid, but in my view, functionality is secondary. It is most important, functionality is important, no doubt, but primary is really the quality of the data. And on the top of this database, we have implemented a flexible filter functionality that can be used to answer a wide variety of questions. For example, what products are registered in what countries, what ingredients are used, who are the manufacturers, are there any changing points in the production, when have they been, when are the next submission, when are the next milestones and deadlines of our submissions. And with this question, the last, with the deadlines and milestones, you can see the emphasis shifts a little from the data to the workflow. And in my view, the second main requirement of a RIM system is a solid workflow engine. It helps to achieve an efficient management to control and simplify the submissions and the approval processes. It's really the basis to control and even optimize these processes. And as a third requirement, we see structured data submissions. It's really, I think, currently the hot topic where several authorities have initiatives, and the RIM system must more and more support them. Today, many companies use the EV web solution, the online tool, to manually submit records directly into the database of the authorities. But we see a clear trend moving forward from manual work towards automated processes. That means we need a flexible system to support these processes, even if details change from time to time. As we have seen with the IDMP specification in the past years, the RIMS must in short term be able to support the current regulatory processes. In summary, to answer your question, there are three most important pillars, I think, for the RIM systems: the solid database, the product master management as a single source of truth, then a well-working workflow engine, and of course, the possibility for structured data submissions to authorities.
I like your answer, Udo, and I totally agree with you that these are the main pillars, and I like also your view in the sense that thinking in the user and what needs to be done, and what can be done better is a very good approach. So, Udo, my second question: what are, in your opinion, the key factors leading companies towards implementation of RIMS?
One of the big drivers is certainly the IDMP implementation. As you know, pharmaceutical companies in Europe are obliged to implement the IDMP regulations. All European companies will be affected by the gradual introduction in the next years. But this is not the only reason to introduce a RIM. A RIM can play an important role for every company in the life science industry to optimize processes. Industry is transitioning towards a structured data-driven approach in contrast to the former, more unstructured document-centric approach, which had the risk that different documents are in different silos in different departments, and you cannot access them if you really need them. Information silos need to be combined and connected. Different departments have to start to work together. And in general, we see competitive pressure in the market that demands faster processes and faster time to market cycles. This all can be achieved using a RIM system. In this way, a RIM project contributes to an improvement of the company's organizational processes, and with it, to the improvement of the strategy, the teaming, the culture, and of course, maybe the leadership styles. We believe that these elements are the drivers of speed, agility, and resilience of any company, and these all can be supported by a RIM system.
Excellent. Another question I have regarding the size of company, portfolio, revenue. Does it make any difference towards to take the decision of the acquisition of a RIM system, depending on the size, the portfolio? What do you think?
15 to 20 years ago, it were actually the big multinational companies that implemented RIM systems. Today, we see all sizes of companies, from large, mid-tier to smaller organizations implementing and using RIM systems. We also have a sizable increase of very small companies with products from 1 to 3 products on the market, and they are investing heavily in RIM to properly build and scale their regulatory organizations. Especially in small startups that do not have large and experienced regulatory departments, a RIM can be essential to fulfill all requirements, all the regulatory requirements of the authorities. A difference that I see between projects in large companies and projects in small ones is the number of customizations made during the system lifetime. Bigger companies are investing more likely into the optimization of their individual processes. They try to find the world's best way to do to handle the regulatory requirements, while smaller companies often try to use systems out of the box without many customizations. The main goal there is to fulfill the regulatory requirements. Both ways have advantages and disadvantages. Both ways are possible today because the system structure allows it. To find the best way for each and every customer. This is, in my opinion, the main target in every single RIM project.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with you. So, so RIMS is not only for big companies, but small portfolios are also at need of a RIM system to organize activities. Because how do you think that having a RIM system affects or impacts the assessment in a pharmaceutical company?
Okay, let's take an example. Someone took a medicine and said, or she said, she got sick immediately afterwards. Such an impact would be a complaint to the pharma producer, and the QA department would start to work. The impact is controlled in a system like our Körber PASX Kappa system I mentioned before. And in the following evaluation, you will need information out of various departments. You need information from the clinical, you will need from the laboratory results. Maybe you need the batch records from the manufacturing. And of course, you need many documentations from the regulatory department. And maybe the regulatory department has to report this issue to the authorities, or at least they will have to create a documentation of regulatory reporting decision why they don't have reported this. And the different departments have to input their information and work closely together. Today, in many huge companies, every department uses its own system, and the different systems are completely independent. In the worst cases, the departments rely on Excel files. It's, of course, today and sometimes the case. In addition, we see that many departments do not cooperate much. Sometimes they don't even know each other exactly who's responsible. Maybe they are located in different subsidiaries. And using a RIMS system can change the situation and lead to a culture of quality. And this in the whole company. In the RIM, you can find the newest valid information very quickly, only with a few mouse clicks. And you are able to answer questions that come from other departments, from your superior, from the authorities, much faster than without a RIM. Even better, if the RIM is connected to the other existing systems, for example, the MES or the QA system. As I mentioned in my introduction, our company Körber is implementing software for various different departments along the pharmaceutical supply chain. They can all be connected together so that you can use the RIM as a real single source of truth. This must be, I think really this must be the target in every RIM project. In this process, really a continuous improvement program which has to be laid down on this, has to lay under such a RIM project so that you really achieve short response times, low error rates, and improvement of repetitive processes and so on.
Excellent, thank you very much. And regarding the use of RIMS, do you think that use of RIMS is specific to human medicines, or can a RIMS system also be beneficial to other core businesses such as animal health, consumer, API suppliers, or other?
Pharmaceutical and biotech industry in the area of human medicine has without a doubt dominant market shares in the RIM area. Above all, to meet the current and the future requirements of the authorities like XBMPD or IDMP. But for the near future, I see two developments. On the one hand, I see an expansion of the requirements of the authorities to other areas like animal health, medical devices, homeopathy. This will undoubtedly lead companies from these areas to use a RIM system. On the other hand, more and more companies decide to use RIM systems to start a continuous organizational improvement process. This leads to a growing diversity of companies with product portfolios like consumers or agricultural or so on.
Interesting. Another question I have is the RIMS exclusive to regulatory affairs departments, or who are, in your opinion, the key users of a RIMS system in a pharma company?
As I mentioned it before a little bit, regulatory affairs certainly is the key user. But as a central hub of regulated information, many cross-functional processes can be supported. We see enterprise connectivity and cross-functional information really growing, and we see it on new and growing more connection points. We see connection to the clinical. We see connection to the ERP systems. We see connection to safety and pharmacovigilance. A connection to MES data. We have a system with label artwork management. In one of our projects, we have extended our AI manager by a huge labeling functionality. All the package layout and information is stored in the RIM, where even the design agencies are RIM users. The stored information is sent directly to the package manufacturers. And finally, as an example of connection points, we see the connection to data lakes with the aim of evaluating the information in the midterm with the help of artificial intelligence. This is really a current development we see, and so many departments can use this RIM system, and for this department, it's really of help.
Thank you, Udo. Then, when companies consider the implementation of a RIM system, how important do you think that having an implementation partner is in the process?
RIM high performance is not achieved by just investing in a particular tool or a software provider. Instead, performance improvements happen through intentional and focused work on the organizational and process levels. This is a cyclic and today, of course, an agile process. For this, an experienced implementation partner is, in my view, very, very important. Someone who speaks the language of the users, someone who has the competence to advise the members of the regulatory departments, and who is experienced in the context of the regulatory requirements. On the other hand, the implementation partner should know the product to find the best way to use the system, especially when the software solution or moreover the project requires deep customization, API integration, scripting. Engaging a partner can be beneficial for both the customer and the software vendor. And depending on the project, an implementation partner may provide project management, consulting, training services. There are really many ways a partner can involve. It's the best of all, in my opinion, when the implementation partner and the software provider work closely together, and the findings in the integration processes flow back into the further development of the software system. In joint cooperation of software vendor, like Körber Pharma Software, with an experienced integration partner like Asphalion, the extensive knowledge and experience from the various projects and also from the deep regulatory know-how may flow into the software solution. I really think in such a case, the cooperation is a win-win and win situation for everyone involved. The system integrator gets an up-to-date, appropriate software to support their customers. The software provider is able to constantly improve the software solution, and the customer gets the best services and the best solution to improve his processes. I really think the joint cooperation is very, very helpful and good.
Thank you, Udo. We certainly share your point of view. And my last question for today is regarding your RIM system. What are the advantages and strengths for the user that you would highlight? And how is the adaptation to the new ISO IDMP standard Planet in your system?
The effective planning, tracking, and managing of medicinal product registration is not an easy task. Having established a single reliable source of truth enables to automate processes such as generation of product information, signal detection for pharmacovigilance, providing information for batch releases. iManager simplifies approval and maintenance of medicinal products. Therefore, it significantly improves the work process at 3 levels, I think. The risk the existing compliance risks are minimized. Second, we can reduce the efforts. Using a RIM leads to a higher efficiency, productivity, and accuracy. Because you can use a single database, it's furthermore possible to arrange teamwork. That means to work on different tasks with different part of tasks in different simultaneous in different departments. And the third, this all together leads to a cut of expenses, which means a reduction of costs. And regarding the IDMP, after many delays, IDMP initiative is now really moving forward rapidly. With the EMA expected to be the first health agency to mandate compliance, and the FDA not far behind, organizations face a rapidly shortening time frame to prepare for this highly complex mandate. You know it better than I. The 2.0 IDMP implementation guide was released, I think, in February this year.
That is correct.
And with this, a date of 2 years countdown to compliance has begun. By 2023, all new submissions must be in the IDMP format. This sets the bounds within which we are moving. To emphasize it at the beginning, IDMP implementation is already in our backlog and highly prioritized. And the core of IDMP is a structured data format. And as I mentioned before, our AI manager is also based on a strictly structured data. This means IDMP and our AI manager are not based on incompatible and fundamentally different approaches, but rather they follow the same principle, a meaningful structured data format. We do have to make some smaller adjustments to our software, but we are still in the process, and we are still in the process of upgrading it step by step. New customers will get an IDMP compliant software version, but of course, particularly some of our existing customers using older AI manager versions will have to implement some changes. This was not possible to avoid as the IDMP specification has changed constantly over the past few years. To achieve IDMP compliance for all our customers, at some time, of course, we will work together with an experienced integration partner who are experts in regulatory. Asphalion, of course, is, from my view, a perfect partner for this. Therefore, we will find an individual path for every single customer to fulfill the IDMP and other upcoming requirements. We will support all of them today and in the future in the process of using iManager and also IDMP. And to improve the everyday's work of every customer, this is really what we plan and what we do and what we do every day. And this is what we at Körber Pharma Software strive to achieve with every product and every single project.
These are very good news, Udo. Thank you very much. And this was my last question. The only thing left now is to say a big thanks to you for participating in this Rec Talk.
Okay,
Thanks a
thank
lot.
you very much. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.